Hello YouTube, this is Dave the Mechanic. I'm back again with another job, and today I'm working on a 2009 Mercedes Benz C300 3.0 V6. And in this video I'll be doing rear brakes and rotors. This is what your brake pads should look like in your rotors. Just in case these brakes have sensors, I'm going to disconnect the battery. Pop that tab up right there. There's a tab over here. I'm going to remove the cover from the brake fluid reservoir, so once I press those calipers back in, the fluid can rise. When doing the rear brakes, there's a point right here. I use that to put my jack, and then I lowered it down on the jack stand so I am safely in the air. Alright, I'm gonna start by getting these lugs out. I have a 17mm socket. You can choose to use a 4-way, breaker bar. Alright, there's this little clip right here you want to take out. Keep in mind how it came off. Pull it off from out here. With the flathead, it'll come off. Just remember that it goes in to these two holes here and sits behind these. Keep that in mind. For me, this would be a good time to pry off the connection, the wire connection. Right there. Get that out of there. Now we can focus on getting the caliper off. I'm using a T45. Of course, this is a Torx bit. You have a bolt here and one down here to get out. These end caps were on the ends of these, so you gotta take those off. Then you can get your T45 in there and just go counterclockwise to get those out. And that's what it looks like. Just be careful not to get that dirty. Now we're going to get the one at the bottom. And that's what it looks like. Set that. Now we should be able to pull our caliper off. And it's attached still, so we're not going to be able to move it around too much. So we can just let it hang just like that. Take your brake pad out. This would be a good time to go ahead and press the caliper back in. So I have my C-clamp set up, and I have the old brake pad still in there. So that's why I'm taking advantage of that. And go ahead and press that back in. And that's it. Now I can pull the old pad out. Alright. This is what it looks like. Go ahead and reinstall or install my new pad. Once you have that new pad in and sitting flush, you can just let it sit for now. Alright, now we have to get this caliper bracket off. There's two bolts behind it. It's an 18mm. I'm using an 18mm wrench to get it started. And once I get them started, I use a ratchet wrench to finish it off. This is what it looks like. Now for the bottom. Someone used some kind of thread locker on this thing. All right, took a lot longer than I thought. Now that we have that off, there's a little bolt right here, which is a T30 that we have to get to. Easy enough. And surprisingly, this is very loose. Just like that. Alright. Take a little time to get as much dust and dirt out of there as possible. We're gonna go ahead and put our new one on. A lot of times I don't put the screw back in, but since this is a Torx screw and it's easy to come out, I'm gonna put this one back in. This is gonna hold it up there while I put the bracket back on. Now we can move back on to the bracket. Now that your bracket is on, take your new brake pad, slide it right in there. Take your caliper with your other brake pad already in, and you slide that up, and you line it up. Then you start to set your bolts back, and you line those up. Then you come back with your T45 to tighten those in. Once these are tight, I can put these end caps back on to keep dust out. That way the next time it comes to service it, it'll be nice and easy. All right, and then you want to get your wire back in. There's a hole in the new brake pad that this goes down in, so be sure to get that down in there. Once you got your sensor back connected, you want to get this clip back on. The way I found to do it is I put this up there at top, put that in, then this is what I could use to control it here. So I'll slide that in and then slide that behind just like that. Now this is on and everything is good. Now it's time to put the tire back on. line it up with the hose, and I like to get one started. Time for the tire. Once you get it up there, you can take a look at the holes through here. Then you get it lined up. Take the socket, and you can get it started by hand. Take my socket and get the rest of them started by hand. Now it's time to torque them down. I know how much torque this impact has, but if you want to look up your torque specs online, feel free to do so. Alright, now that we have our tire on, we can lower the vehicle, and also once you're done with the other side, don't forget to reattach or reinstall your cap on your brake reservoir, and don't forget to reconnect your negative cable on your battery. And that is how you install rear brakes and rotors on a 2009 Mercedes Benz C300. If you liked the video, you thought it was helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe button. Also, if you feel this video saved you some money, don't be afraid to leave a little tip in the Cash App. The more reactions and support that I receive is the more content that I'll make.